All right, Nathan and the rest of the Phillips want to show you what's going on with the Magster here. Get you your update video here for the end of May. Um, Talk to you about what's going on with Maggie and what comes next. Give you my impression. Um, Really, the name of the game lately for Maggie has been the word that I keep coming back to now is control. Up to this point, um, Maggie has been kind of a wild Indian, for lack of a better word, and that is intentional. With young dogs, we want to help them develop their retrieving drive. Help them be excited about this process. And then now we're going to kind of really shape that into something that is actually under control. And so we've really been working on getting Maggie under control through her force fetch process, and which has come along very well at this point. I would say traditional force fetch is pretty well done. She will fetch on command on a leash. And so now what we're doing is we kind of take a little break from force fetch per se, and we're doing some e-collar conditioning. And then we're all going to blend it together at the end and use the e-collar as the pressure associated with force fetch. So now that she understands fetch is a command, and she understands what that's supposed to do, and she knows don't drop it. She knows to hold on to the stick. Now we want to have the e-collar to enforce it, and the biggest reason for that is because it will allow us to create the pressure and the enforcement at a distance. For dogs, a big part of what they look at is they look at their surrounding and what is near them. So a lot of times you'll see a dog that, if the dog is close to you, of course they're going to mind you. But if the dog is, 100 yards away, they may or may not mind you. And so the e-collar really solves all of that because it breaks the idea that they mind when there's proximity involved. Um, it's coming along well. I would say Maggie has responded very nicely. I would also say that she is a relatively high on the what we call a high pressure dog, meaning that she responds. She will respond to lower pressure, but if we have to go up in pressure, she sure, doesn't. She doesn't vocalize. She doesn't, throw a fit. She doesn't pout. She can handle pressure. It's not bothering her at all. So I like that. That means we don't have to worry about her being pouty or her being a coward. Um, and at this point, I would say she's pretty thoroughly e-collar conditioned. And what I do with our e-collar, and we'll go through this more one of these days when Nathan comes down to visit. But when we say, for example, when the dog is out loose, to go do her thing, if I say here, a lot of times I will push the button that creates the tone, and I'm gonna bend down close to her so you can hear that. It sounds like this. It just produces a tone. There's no stimulation involved. Okay, and we condition the dogs to thoroughly to come to that tone, because if they don't come right away, the next one is e-collar pressure, and they don't like that. Okay, and so you can see how she got into the left side heel position, and is sitting here like an angel, simply because I pushed the tone button, and she knows, okay, well that means it's time to go to work. This is also great because if you have a dog and she's out, to air, if you're at home or even if you're, on the road, on a hunting trip or something, and you need the dog to come. I don't know how many times I've done this. You're at a hotel or you're at somebody's house and you kind of need to be quiet, man. You just say, hey, Maggie here, press the tone button, and she's coming right in, and you don't have to be hollering for the dog. You don't have to do anything. She knows, okay, that means I need to get over there. You can be quiet about it. Don't have to blast on. There's no whistle involved. It's just, hey, I need you in here. Okay, so definitely. Oh, sorry, I stepped on your tail, sweetie. So definitely she's responding well to the tone. And you can see She's sitting here like such a good girl, and I am rewarding her. She is a dog who is working now nicely for praise and physical affection. She likes to be pet. She is, she's kind of eating that up. She's got a good disposition for that. That's going well. Okay, so let's show you a little bit of what's going on with her force fetch, so you can see where we are with that. I'm going to get the shorter lead here because she doesn't need the long one anymore. She's got this figured out. And I'm just going to clip right here, baby. Here. Good. Heel. Sit. Good dog. And you will see her. She is going to probably cower a little bit. Um, she does like to kind of get low on me, and you'll see her do it probably if I put a little pressure on her. It's just a side effect of working with the pressure. It's not bad. There's nothing that worries me at all. It's all about her submitting to me and being compliant. We'll just do a little rep here, just walking. Good. Heel. And you can see we're very nicely walking at heel. There's no lunging. There's no pulling. Her attention is on me. She's not worried about looking at the ground. Good girl. This is what formal obedience is supposed to look like. The dog is supposed to walk at heel nicely. Here, heel, and come into a good sit. Good girl. Thank you. So definitely, like I said, we're getting under control. We're getting a lot better there, which is what I want to see at this point. Really refining. Okay. So we're gonna go fetch. Good. Fetch. And we're walking nicely at heel. She understands. Okay. I got the bumper in my mouth. Here. Heel. Good. And we're not gonna drop her. She's pretty solid on that. She understands. Okay, that means get it in my mouth. Give. Good girl. Okay, so that's going along well. What we're doing now, the thing that we're headed into next, like I said, is the e-collar fetch, which we've just started on. Really, this week, she's gotten pretty good at it. Okay, so I'm going to use the e-collar now to go fetch. Good. So we're applying that stem. And she did not even flinch at all with that e-collar there. And this goes from 1 to 7. Usually I work on a 2. Most dogs respond at a 2. And she did there. She responded nicely. And each one through 7, has low, medium, high, depending on which way you push the button. So she responded there on low 2, and did very well. So I'm happy with that. Give. And so she sits there and holds it until I'm ready for her to take it. So the things that we're working on that come next is we need to get into what we call walking fetch, which means where we're going to set the object on the ground, right here, right here, and come down here, right here, fetch, 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 good girl. Each time I say the word fetch, I'm going up in pressure. So there's a sense of urgency to get the object in her mouth quickly. A lot of times there'll be hesitation, like, okay, do I have to pick? There's a little bit of hesitancy sometimes, and so we just keep gradually stepping up the pressure until we get the response. The idea is we want the dog to learn to beat that pressure so that they will react more quickly. Obviously, we don't expect to have to use an e-collar to tell the dog to fetch, when she's older. We expect her to respond just to the command, to beat it. That's the whole point. It's no different than sit or here or whatever. We expect them to respond to the command to beat the pressure. And so that's how we gradually step it up. Good girl. Give. Good. And she sits here so patiently. That makes me happy. She's really I tell you, she's really growing up on me. She's not quite the little wild puppy, the wild-eyed puppy that she was, just 6 or 8 weeks ago. All right, down here. Come on. So what we're doing, we're trying to get down on the ground. Come on, fetch. Good, fetch. Good girl. Good. Here, heel, sit. Good dog. Good. All right, give. So, like I said, I feel like we're getting good progress. She is responding to the e-collar. Um, there is, we're making solid progress with her training. I like how she's working. Play with a little racquetball in here. She enjoys playing with the ball. Can I go get your other toy? Huh? No. There you go. There we go. Everybody loves the racquetball. They bounce so well on this floor. After we have a session of work, you got to play a little bit. Huh? And what we want to see is we want to see this. We want to see, that happy tail. We want to see the dog, in good spirits. We don't want to end on a sour note, where we've just been, hammering the pressure with the dog. So what I want to see her do next is I want to see her picking up off the ground, and we want to get to where we can set multiple objects on the ground, fetch, pick up this object and come back, pick up that object and come back. And of course, that is all laying the groundwork for getting her steady, for doing blind retrieves, for lots of pieces down the road. So this is not just about, picking up an object and holding it until I'm ready. This is the foundation for go that way and pick something up and keep going until I tell you to find it. So there's a lot of good foundation that's happening right now with Maggie. All in all, I'm very happy with her. I really I like Maggie. I think she's a talented dog. I think she's got a good disposition. I think she's going to make you a really nice dog, for a long time to come. So we're doing all right.